Please stand for our graduates. You may be seated. Families, faculty, and the graduating class of 2021, welcome to the fourth graduation ceremony of North Phoenix Preparatory Academy. By tradition in the Great Hearts Academies, we will open the ceremony with our student speakers. Each of these speakers is distinguished and were selected by the faculty of North Phoenix Preparatory Academy on the basis of academic history, embodiment of the Academy's values, involvement in athletics and extracurriculars, and leadership. Our first student speaker is Judah Hegenbarth, one of our salutatorians. Following his remarks, we will sing the Academy's choral anthem, Gaudeamus Igitur. You will find the words in Latin on the screens and on the back of your program. Please welcome Judah Hegenbarth.
I feel like it's easy for us as people to kind of hit the fast forward button on life. Sometimes when things get difficult, it's easy to go through the motions and just do the bare minimum. It's often easy to study just enough to barely pass that physics exam. Let's be real, we've all been there at some point. 10 months ago, I wanted to hit this fast forward button. I was devastated when I realized the ramifications COVID could have on my senior year. I was angry that my senior year might not live up to my ideal senior experience. I wanted to be done with Zoom classes, get this last year of high school out of the way, and just move on to bigger and better things. Well, standing up here today, surrounded by the most wonderful people I have ever known, I'm thrilled that I lived every moment of this year to its very fullest. And boy, am I glad that there's not actually a fast forward button for life. And I'm thrilled that I didn't press it. Let me tell you why. Winter of freshman year. I walked onto the brand new soccer field with nothing but a year of soccer under my belt. I looked around at the team. Almost everyone there had just as little, if not less, soccer experience as I did. We were the underdogs by definition. I remember the first day of tryouts all too well. Kids tripping over anything and everything, tripping over themselves, the ball, their teammate, you name it. Stray balls rolling left and right. Kevin blasting soccer balls as hard as he could into the distance for the 5th time that day. Complete chaos. So, yes, it was a struggle. But the takeaway is this. We started at the bottom and worked our butts off, not just for ourselves, but for each other. Our hard work took us to the playoffs this year for the first time in NPX history. What a way to end our high school soccer career. I know, our soccer team does have the help of the ultimate gladiator, but regardless of Richie Johnson's impeccable curveball, we all stepped up to face the task at hand. Even during our hardest losses, we found comfort and support in our teammates. And then there's the memories of the simple things, such as the late nights spent over house party, floundering over the physics homework. Memories like 10 p.m. post-soccer practice picnics on the grass outside of McDonald's. Yes, parents, that's where your little soccer stars were all those late school nights. I think I can recall at least 3 or 4 different times that Richie or Sam passed out on Richard's couch, only to return home the next morning before school. I don't know how Mr. and Mrs. Johnson trust Richard Bickerstaff with their sons' lives. Not since the accident. And then, of course, we can't forget the silly little anecdotes either. From impromptu hammock sleepovers to paper airplane flinging contests in the courtyard. But despite the vast difference between all these little memories, one thing ties them together. No matter what we endeavor, whether it be remarkably absurd or positively serious, we always find joy in what we're doing. So I got to thinking, how are we always so happy? It seems like our joy is not a result of the situation, since things aren't always just sunshine and rainbows. Even when we had a lab report looming overhead, we always found a way to make it fun, a way to extract a few measly drops of joy from the physics assignment. Challenging ourselves to eat 60 eggs in a single morning. Now that's fun. That's naturally joy-inducing. And yes, as some of you may have heard, we did up the ante and made our way through 120 scrambled eggs. Be proud, parents. No wasted food there. Things like that are easy to find joy in, but the average person does not find happiness in grueling 4-hour calculus study sessions. No, average people really don't find math fun, no matter how much Cora says differently. So us being average people and all, we are left with one option for the origin of our joy. And the answer is us. That's right, the class of 2021. Since our happiness is not a result of whatever situation we're in, not a result of whether things are going good or bad, it must be a result of the people in the situation. The spectacular bottom line is that wherever we go, whatever we do, whatever trials and tribulations we experience, we find joy in each other. If I hit that fast forward button, I would be missing the greatest memories I've ever made. Without high school, I would be missing the best friendships that I have ever built. We have formed the strongest bonds of friendship known to man, the honest and pure friendships here in high school. They have been stretched and tested and prodded by outside forces, only to win in the end, to triumph over the seemingly impossible. This friendship is what we're united by. This friendship is what makes our memories worthwhile. It gives them body and meaning. It fills them with joy. And yes, we will miss all of this. Every single one of these memories and every one of these wonderful friends. But that's not a sad thing. It's not like we missed out on all these memories because we hit a fast forward button. Now that would be sad. It is true we will miss this, but we will look back and cherish all the beautiful moments that we've had together. And each memory has the potential to change and impact our lives down the road. Aren't you glad we didn't hit that fast forward button? I know I am. I struggled to write this speech. Not because I couldn't think of anything to say, but because I had so much to say. I wanted to do my dearest friends justice. I wanted to honor you guys. And beyond what I have already said, the best way I can think to describe you, my friends, the class of 2021, is as my family. This family brought joy into my life. I will remember you forever and hope I can carry this joy with me for years to come. I hope we go into the adult world, and although we start new lives and go our separate ways, we hold on to family, because that is what will keep joy abounding in our lives. And friendship will allow us to share this joy with new people who come our way. We will touch the lives of others in the same way that our lives have been touched by our friends here at North Phoenix Prep. There's a reason that life has no fast forward button. Every moment matters. Today matters. Tomorrow matters. The class of 2021, we matter. And I believe joy, our joy, can truly change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Judah. I always love hearing the things that are revealed in these speeches. It's so wonderful. Please stand for the Academy's choral anthem. Please be seated. With the class of 2021, we inaugurated a new student of distinction. This student is selected by his or her peers as the person they would like to hear from at graduation. This person best represents them and their experience at North Phoenix Prep. It is my honor to welcome Miss Alina Borse.
When we were 5, they asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up. Our answers were things like an astronaut, the president, or in my case, a cowgirl. When we were 10, they asked us again, and we answered a rock star or a race car driver. But now that we're in high school, they're wanting a serious answer. Well, I got one. How about I don't know for an answer? But before we get ahead of ourselves, let me ask you this. Let's rewind. Raise your hand if you thought you were an absolute cringe fest in freshman year. Okay, I was worried none of you were gonna raise your hands, okay. Because if you didn't, you were lying. Yeah, I was there, and I admit, I know I certainly was. I mean, who shows up to school on the first day rocking a neck brace? Yeah, newsflash, that was me. I'm not sure if it was the studying at 4 a.m. with Cora for HL exams, solving NASA-sized physics problems, thanks Dr. Court, belting Let It Go in the high school courtyard to take home just a 2-inch lip sync battle trophy. Or maybe it was the first breakup, the second breakup, and then the realization it wasn't them, it was you. The heartache wasn't just with our love lives, though. It was the moments when the state championship slipped from our fingers, or when the virus hijacked our lives and shut down our junior prom. These experiences, all of them, they can't be found in a textbook, and because of that, it's made us a little bit wiser and a little less cringy, or at least that's the hope. We survived the highs and lows of high school, and dare I say, we thrived. But even before we came to NPX, we started to grow, and that couldn't have been possible without our first teachers, our parents. We started with the potential to grow into successful students at a young age. But just like plants, likelihood of a success of a seed is fully dependent on the environment it ends up in. And for all of us, we were fortunate enough to end here at North Phoenix Prep. It is here where we continued to grow as we reached for the stars. Miss Martin was our ray of positivity. Mr. Black and Mr. Herrera gave us the space to grow through self-expression. Our humane letters teachers quenched our thirst, and our language teachers guided us to grow in a new direction. And the other admin and faculty provided us with continuous nutrition along the way. And of course, I cannot forget each one of you. I don't think I'd be the person I am today if it wasn't for you all. I couldn't make it without all of your sarcastic and sassy remarks. You know who you are. These moments challenged us and encouraged us to grow, making us blossom from that small seedling we started from. I say this all because you don't need to know where you're going or what you're doing at this very moment. This isn't the time to make hard and fast decisions because there's so much yet you have to discover. I hate to break it to you, but Plato hasn't taught you everything. The reality is, this is where your journey begins. Some of us will have direct routes, while others may meander. And frankly, I don't know which path will be mine. This is the time to remember where your roots were established, to see how far you've come. We are saying goodbye to each other and so much that is familiar and comfortable. And I think we all feel butterflies in the pits of our stomach as we think about what lies ahead. As we are saying goodbye, we are saying hello to the people we will become. We don't know what's next. So when someone asks you what you want to do or be, feel free to use my answer. Say, I don't know, but what I do know is where I came from, and I can't wait to see what's next. We have quite a while to figure out the whole adulting thing. You may remember from our classical curriculum books, the great words of Miley Cyrus. Feel free to join in with me if you know. Girls, I know you know. Okay, there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's about the climb. When you stare up from the base of that mountain with fear, doubt, hope, and excitement in your belly, remember that high school was a mountain that you hadn't summited just yet. Remember that you are standing on solid ground. Remember that you are looking up at that new summit, and it's still just regular rocks. You've seen rocks before. So get going on whatever path seems right to you, and I have no doubt that you will reach that summit, no matter what storm rolls by. Congratulations, class of 2021, and enjoy the climb.
Thank you, Alina. At this time, we will hear the class of 2021's chosen song, Blackbird.
moment to arise. We were only waiting for this moment to arise. We were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Our next student speaker is our second salutatorian. While it is typical to have the Academy select only one salutatorian, we are anything but typical here. Please welcome Miss Sophia Bernovich.
Okay. Whew. What's up, y'all? Um, Before I start, I'd just like to preface this with an apology to Dr. Avery and all my past humane letters and lit comp teachers for any improper or informal English and slang I may use. I'm a little nervous. When I started thinking about what I would say today to all of you, I had extreme writer's block and nerves because what do I say to the people that have helped shape me into the person I am today for the past 9 years of my life? How do I fit years of memories into 8 minutes? I also worried about turning this into a cliche mess, which would be cringe for all of us, including me. But as I was brainstorming, I kept coming back to one idea. The idea about how great and amazing our class is and how united we are. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be up here addressing all of y'all because y'all are some amazing human beings. It's truly humbling. While this day is a celebration of our individual accomplishments, this day is also a celebration of everything we have accomplished together. I truly believe our class is the best class that has ever come out of this school. No offense to any siblings here. What makes our class so unique and our experience unique is the closeness we all have. Being able to be a part of this smaller class gave us the opportunity to know each other deeper than just names, an opportunity that we all took. We didn't just stay comfortable where we were. We got to know one another and learn to appreciate one another. Vince Lombardi, legendary football coach for the Packers, go Pack go, once said, individual commitment to a group effort. That is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. To me, this embodies what our lives have been like through the years at this school. We made it through together and came out stronger and prepared for the world because of it. We are a team and would go out of our way to help anyone who needs it. I can't count how many physics phone calls or house parties we have had the past 2 years trying to figure out the physics homework. How many times one person has had to explain a single math problem to the class, but was willing to do it because of the devotion to the greatness of this class. Also, we have this ability to look past our differences and accept each other for who we are and be civil about it. In our HL discussions this year and in past years, we talked in depth about many important topics. And while we may have had differences of opinions, we always respected each other and understood that we won't always agree, but what was important was listening and understanding each other. Y'all have inspired me and pushed me beyond limits I thought I had, especially during the senior thesis process. We all kept each other going during that by sending memes at 1 a.m. or updates about how far behind all of us were, reassuring all of us that we were just as screwed as everyone else. But in all seriousness, we made it through that together, and none of us failed to support each other. Even when I cried for 30 minutes before my defense, all of y'all gave me support, told me I'd get through it, and guess what? I did. This school has always encouraged and allowed participation in the classroom, in any club, and on any court or field. But without the community at this school, I never would have competed in volleyball, soccer, and track and field this year. I was only able to do that because of not only does the school allow me to do those things, but my friends were there to encourage me to try new things and step out of my comfort zone. The community of students here wasn't toxic. They weren't telling me I wasn't good enough. They were telling me I had the opportunity to make memories and reach new heights. This school can be hard sometimes, and it tests you. There's a lot of potential for it to become overwhelming, but we all stuck with it, and we made it through. Having each other made us want to push through it and make it to the end. Even though this past year we went through unprecedented times, This was still one of the best years of my life because I was able to be surrounded by my friends and a community that wants to see me become a better person. The friends I have made here genuinely want to see me succeed and believe in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. That is what is so great about this school. We were able to find and help create a community of growth at MPX, a community that will continue throughout the years. Writing this speech, I got inspired by the Great Seal of the United States, which has the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, on it. I really thought I left Latin in middle school, but it's okay. Anyway, this phrase translates to, out of many, one. This resonated with me and how much it represents our grade. We really became one unit throughout the years. Despite the different viewpoints, backgrounds, and beliefs we all have, we never let it get in the way of having school spirit, having fun together, or helping each other work through problems. We're united with the obvious goal, to graduate, but united in our goal to make memories and prepare for the next chapters of our lives. Each and every one of you has made me a better person, and I will never forget that. Gosh dang it. To the faculty and administration, you were part of the one as well. You have been there throughout the years to push all of us when we wanted to give up. Gosh dang it. Where was I? Or when we wanted to give up or when we wanted to slow down. Encouraging us to finish strong and reach for any aspirations we may have. To our parents, thank you on behalf of all of us for shaping us into the people we are. So, as I finish my speech and graduate, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for always believing in me. Thank you for a lifetime of memories. Thank you for everything. Whew. I tried to keep this speech short and sweet because I know that we are all really here to graduate and all y'all parents are really here to see your kids walk, but I hope you know I meant every word of this and was grateful for the opportunity to be up here. Out of many, one, and we will always be one, the graduating class of 2021.
You got us all going up there, Sophia. All right. Whew. Next, I will welcome to the podium our valedictorian. The valedictorian is the highest honor the Academy can place on a student. This student has not only excelled academically, he has pioneered and invested in many programs at North Phoenix Prep. Please welcome Mr. Naveen Kumar.
Can everyone hear me? Just raise your hand if you can hear me. I know this has been a problem in the past. Awesome, great. Have I ever told you about my time playing for our school's middle school baseball team? No? Just kidding. I never played baseball in school, and that's not what this speech is about anyway. So, everyone, we finally did it. We were finished with high school, and now we have to act like functional adults? I mean, today's graduation, and that fact has yet to fully dawn on me. Wait. Okay, it's dawned on me now. I am very scared. Please help. Seriously, though, it's been a very, very interesting 4 years for myself, and maybe 5 in some cases. Aiden. And the class as a whole. When we started out in high school, a lot of us had certain expectations for what the experience was going to be like. Personally, I, for one, thought that it was just going to be a significantly harder version of middle school, a 24/7 marathon of academics, test prep, and extracurriculars. To be totally honest with you, I didn't even know if I wanted to stay at NPX for high school. Fortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. Not that 9th grade Naveen would have admitted it. High school in general was much more of a roller coaster. For example, I remember one specific lab in freshman year where dissecting a fetal pig turned out to be a bit too much for me, despite my confidence going into class that day. However, the mistakes I've made in high school have been more than overshadowed by the positive experiences I've had here at NPX. Speaking of mistakes, Miss Fulton, I am so sorry about that one titration experiment we did in chemistry. My group really should have added the indicator solution before we used up 3 full burettes of sodium hydroxide. A good example of the positive experiences I've had here is our tradition of going on retreats. The retreats our classes attended at Tonto Creek and Lost Canyon have given us the chance to form deep interpersonal relationships with each other and just decompress in general. It's in these quiet moments, like gathering around a bonfire at Tonto, that really highlight the character of the class of 2021. A group of driven but compassionate people who just want to make their mark on the world. I remember sitting around the fire and thinking to myself, this is the reason I'm staying at NPX, the sense of community and of camaraderie. That feeling isn't just limited to the retreats. I experience it almost daily at school during the most mundane of events, like when we either complain or try and hide our excitement when there's a fire drill, or during events like field days when we all compete as if our lives literally depend on it. This sense of camaraderie also spills into our academic lives. Even things as routine as test reviews are always done in groups. If you observe any senior math or physics class, you can see people immediately forming study groups when reviews are handed out. If you walked into our senior commons anytime between August and February, you would see people applying to college, not alone, but with the advice of their peers, and of course, Miss Martin, our wonderful college counselor. Aside from appreciating the sense of community we have here at NPX, I learned a few other things during my time as a gladiator, which I think all of you who are continuing here will find helpful or at the very least interesting. First of all, remember that grades are not everything in high school. This might seem obvious and cliched, because it is, but it's the most important lesson I've learned here by far. When I originally started out here all the way back in 7th grade, I wasn't able to understand that school required me to pull off quite the difficult balancing act. To continue that metaphor, I had to keep extracurricular, school, and the rest of my life in the air continuously without dropping a single one. I couldn't just focus on one thing like grades to the exclusion of all else, but as that would cause unnecessary stress and hardship. Luckily, being at NPX here made this responsibility significantly easier to bear. Support from my teachers and peers through letters of recommendation, extra tutoring, even events like socials, helped ensure that I was not only staying on top of my schoolwork, but I was also free to pursue my passions outside of the classroom. The second most important lesson I learned in high school is this: you are never truly alone. There will always be fellow gladiators and faculty members who will gladly offer you their assistance if you need it. For example, I knew during this year's Spirit Week that I could actually get work done during first period, but something about me and a friend taping tax credit sheets to our uniforms and then running around the school telling people to donate seemed so much more satisfying at the time. Originally, I never would have considered doing something so bold as the aforementioned tax credit costume, but my confidence was boosted by the fact that I wasn't doing it alone. I was supported by someone who I knew wouldn't hesitate to make a fool of themselves alongside me. This support is a recurring theme at North Phoenix. Are you forming a club? You can reach out to friendly senators to advise your club, advertise your club in the daily announcements. Need additional assistance in one of your classes? All you need to do is ask, and the teachers here at North Phoenix will do their best to help you catch up. And even if you don't ask, your teachers will approach you anyway. My point is that 99.999% of the time, the community here simply will not let you fall through the cracks. Of course, the character of a community is defined by the people it is composed of. On that note, I would like a moment to address my peers in the class of 2021. I've had the privilege of knowing almost all of you for at least 4 years at this point, and it has been a wildly rewarding experience to grow academically and as a person alongside all of you. In my eyes, each one of you is incredibly unique. The strengths of our class are diverse, ranging from athletics to programming to linguistics to theater. Yet every single one of you possesses the intelligence, passion, and tenacity that I know will carry you forward to success, whether it be in the arts, sciences, or whatever career you've set your sights on. Of course, we couldn't have done it without the support of our teachers and administrators. I know that no amount of gratitude could ever compare to the work you have done on our behalf, from helping us achieve proficiency in a variety of subjects, or chaperoning us on trips and retreats, reading our college applications, grading our assignments and tests, telling us for the 100th time to turn in whatever assignment we needed to a week ago. And just putting up with us in general. I still don't know how you all have the level of patience required for that last one. As we bid one last farewell to the home away from home we've known for the duration of our high school careers and begin a new chapter of our lives, I commend all of you for the hard work you have put in to reach this crossroads, with fellow students, members of the faculty, and members of the administration. And as always, go Gladiators.
Thank you, Naveen. I am grateful for your example, and I know that your peers are as well. This year, we begin a new tradition with the commencement speaker. Seniors were asked to vote on who they would like to speak at graduation. Mr. Black joined North Phoenix Preparatory Academy in 2015. His teaching career began in 1996 and has included working as an art professor at Willamette University, designing exhibits for the Hallie Ford Museum of Art, and working as a founding teacher at Chandler Preparatory Academy. In addition to teaching, Mr. Black is also a respected professional watercolor artist whose work is collected on a national level. Mr. Black serves North Phoenix Prep as our Fine Arts Lead and Dean of Student Leadership. Because of his hard work and dedication, the seniors were able to have socials and a prom, something most 2021 graduates in our state were not able to have. Mr. Black always ensures that students have a voice and are able to make real change, including a campaign this year to roll out our first student survey and provide mental health resources to all students. Please welcome Mr. Black.
That's Mr. Bruce to you, Ray. First, I wanted to point out before I begin a slight irony. If you look at that group over there in the black robes, you're going to see some amazing scholars, orators, people with doctorates, wordsmiths. This class chose the art teacher to speak to you. The one guy that uses images to communicate with more than words. So I think we can all agree that's 10 points off for this class, right? Okay. You guys ready? Sit up straight. Lewis, no chest during the speech. Ray, no slouching. Max, keep your voice down. Same with you, Sophia. Alina, you do not need to take any notes. Naveen, there will be no test, and it will not be reflected on your GPA. Abby, no dancing during this time. No, Grace, is not the right time to go to the bathroom. No, you guys may not fill your water bottles up. Liam, no fidgeting. I'll be done with this soon. The embarrassment will be over. I hope you all know I'm a father as well as a teacher here this evening, so I'm speaking to you from that capacity. Okay, first I'd like to thank and acknowledge the graduating class of 2021 for selecting me to speak to you this afternoon. I am truly honored and I hope to live up to your expectations. Well, you did it. You did it. There have certainly been countless hours of homework, lots of tears, heartache, door banging, and long nights. And that's just us parents. And so let's take a moment to acknowledge all the parents, the grandparents, and the aunts and uncles that are here with us today. This is a moment for us to celebrate, for we have also accomplished something. The saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, but we all gathered here today know that it takes a whole lot more than that to get a child through a Great Hearts Academy. I can remember back to when the Archway first integrated the Singapore math system. And I know there's some other parents here that go all the way back to Archway as well. And I remember my little 5th grader looking up to me and saying, "Dad, can you help me with my math?" Nope. That was the moment. I said, "You're on your own. Good luck."
Thanks, Dad.
I'm here for you, Liam. This night, however, is, of course, or this afternoon is about our graduates. These wonderful young men and women sitting so proudly in their maroon caps and gowns. First, I want you to know, on behalf of myself, as well as the entire faculty administration, how extraordinarily proud of you we are. We have seen you grow and reveled in your successes. Each of you has earned the seat you occupy this afternoon, and no one but yourself can truly know what it took for you to get here. Even though you each have taken basically the same courses, each of you has faced your own challenges, and none of you have gotten here without struggle. It is easy to look at someone and say that person is lazy and does not apply themselves, or the opposite, that that person is gifted and everything comes easily to him or her. However, the path through adolescence and into adulthood does not come easily for anyone, and no one gets through it without some scars, both physical and emotional. And the Great Hearts curriculum is rigorous, and you are all graduating this afternoon with honors. So if you are sitting here this afternoon with a maroon cap and gown on, you have done something significant. And let me say this, if you are a student whose graduation is postponed, as you finish up coursework, that in no way diminishes your accomplishment or the pride that this faculty has in you. Keep striving. And so, I bid all of you in the class of 2021, raise your heads high and revel in this moment. It is your moment. Let's reflect on some of what it took for you to get here. In the last 4 years, this class has taken roughly 1,416 hours of humane letters. That's the 2-hour seminar and writing course that is the foundation of the Great Hearts curriculum. During that time, you have read over 50 classical works, including Thoreau's Syphil Disobedience, Shakespeare's Othello, Henry V, Hamlet, and Macbeth. Additionally, you read Darwin's The Origin of Species, the second treatise on government by John Locke, Pride and Prejudice, Crime and Punishment, the Iliad, the Odyssey, 5 Dialogues of Plato, Plato's Republic, Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle, St. Augustine's Confessions, the Divine Comedy, Descartes' Discourse on Method and Meditations on First Philosophy, Paradise Lost, and the Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky, along with many, many more. Furthermore, Miss Bailey, one of our wonderful calculus teachers, has informed me that this class has solved initial value differential equation problems, found volumes of solids of revolutions, solved infinite integrals, and determined convergence and divergence of the sum of infinitely many numbers. She continues, they used Plato to model the solids of a known base for which they were finding the volume and were awarded with mints and Hershey Kisses when they solved difficult math problems. Miss Bailey states, if my plan is successful, this class will graduate from high school associating mint chocolate with calculus. Additionally, your chemistry teacher, Ms. Fulton, wanted me to remind this class of 2021 of the mark they have left on this school. They know what I'm talking about. Not a figurative mark, mind you, but actual marks, as in the burning of holes in her brand new tables with magnesium fire. You owe her. You have also taken a battery of fine arts courses, put on plays, concerts, and many of you have participated in our sports programs. Yes, you've worked hard to get to this moment, and this class's scholarship is unquestionable. In addition to your scholarly achievements, you have also persevered through transitions from one campus to another, and you've worked under the direction of 3 different headmasters and 3 different assistant headmasters. Then came your senior year, and the worst pandemic this world has seen in a very long time. Yet through it all, this class has stuck together. While these challenges might have torn a lesser group of students apart, your struggles have seemed only to create tighter bonds of friendship. It is this class that has always shown up for our dances, socials, and events. You have engineered a renaissance in school spirit at North Phoenix Prep, and you have embodied the virtues that we value most: truth and goodness and beauty. I dare say you can take this class anywhere, turn on some music, and they will have a good time. And so let me reiterate to you the pride that your teachers feel for you and the pride that I hope each of you feels for yourself. However, as high school is now in your rearview mirror, this also becomes a time of looking forward, of setting new goals and facing new challenges. If I may, I'd like to remind you of a passage from Herodotus' The Histories. There's a story from Herodotus that I've always enjoyed, and I think there is an element of this story that might help shed some light on this moment for you in this time. Of course, this wouldn't be a great hard speech if I didn't refer to some literature, right? We're agreed? Okay. The story I'm referring to has to do with Cyrus, who later became known as Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, the first Persian Empire. In this story, Cyrus is marching his army toward Babylon, a city that no longer exists, but used to be a thriving metropolis in an area about 60 miles south of what is current-day Baghdad. So the story goes, Cyrus's army comes to a large river that Herodotus identifies as the Gindus River, a tributary to the Tigris. The river is swollen and requires boats to cross. However, as the army is preparing for itself for the crossing, one of Cyrus's favorite horses is swept away in the current. Cyrus's anger at this incident is so great that he orders his army to stop and wage war against the river. He still plans on sacking Babylon, but he camps his army for several months, and he has his soldiers divide the river into 360 channels, each shallow enough for a person to wade across with little effort. The river thus subdued, Cyrus marches his army on to Babylon. The first thing to look at when examining this story is to see that Cyrus set a large goal for himself, a goal that was lofty and in no way guaranteed of success. Each of you have your own dreams, your own goals, your own Babylons to conquer. Perhaps you want to be a physician, a business owner, or a philanthropist. Perhaps you want to have a family or travel or be a civic leader. It is important to have a goal, a big goal, a goal that is not guaranteed and will take hard work to accomplish, because it is through the industry of doing hard things that we learn the most and gain the most. The path of least resistance is also the path of least growth and the least pride when the deed is accomplished. So now is the time to set your sights on your own Babylon. Dream big. And know that there will be obstacles along the way. In our story, Cyrus comes to the Gindus River and he must halt his army. It is important to note that Cyrus did not rush headlong into that river in a reckless manner that might cost him the lives of his men and more horses and precious supplies. Nor did he retreat in frustration. He stopped, took stock, and then proceeded with a methodical plan to carve the river into channels. Most of you are moving on to college, some are taking a gap year, and some are looking to go directly into the workforce. Whatever your plan, I know that you have concerns. I know that this is a moment of trepidation as you move from the known to the unknown, from the comfortable to the uncomfortable. And the next 4 years or so will be a Gindus River moment for you. It is not your ultimate dream or goal, your Babylon, but it is something that you must surpass before going forward. Don't get swept away. As a college professor, I saw many students who were swept away by college, much like the horse in our story. They did not know why they were there and did not have a plan, nor did they have a larger goal in mind. They took their college opportunity for granted and squandered their time. I've seen other students who simply wanted to rush through it in order to get to their Babylon. but without taking the time to learn the lessons that they needed to learn. You are prepared. Do not be afraid. Do not retreat. Hold your Babylon in your mind, but take the time in these next years to learn what you need to learn and conquer this obstacle by carving it into small channels that you can easily ford. It can be overwhelming to look across this new river, to look at the work it will take to get to the other side. So don't do that. Just think about what you must do next. Carve out one channel, then the next. Maybe that is simple as meeting your new roommate or introducing yourself to your professors. Go slow, don't rush, and learn what you are there to learn. You should know that once Cyrus had conquered the Gindus River, subduing it to his satisfaction, he did march on to Babylon. And there he met even more obstacles, as you too will meet more obstacles on your way to your Babylon. You see, the citizens of Babylon knew of his approach in advance and had fortified their walls and stored plenty of food inside the city. They were able to wait out a long siege and could repel Cyrus's troops from the walls. However, Cyrus advanced part of his soldiers along the banks of the Euphrates River, another mighty river that flowed directly through the city. He then took a smaller portion of his army and had them move back to an old and nearly empty reservoir. There, the army dug a channel and diverted the Euphrates River to flow into its old reservoir. As soon as the river became low enough, his soldiers, who were left stationed along its banks near Babylon, waded into it and marched directly and unopposed into the city of Babylon. In fact, Herodotus tells us that owing to the great size of the city, the outskirts were captured without the people in the center knowing anything about it. There was a festival going on, and they continued to dance and enjoy themselves until they learned the news the hard way. Consider for a moment the lessons that Cyrus must have learned from crossing the Gindus River earlier in the year. Perhaps having his army pause and divide that river into channels was all simply practice for the coming siege. By the time he reached Babylon, his army was well versed in the engineering required to divert a river and well practiced in its application. Cyrus had taken his time and learned the lessons he needed to learn. You, my young scholars, are also well prepared. For if you are here this afternoon, it means you are now on the other side of the torrential river known as high school. This academic fording has given you the tools for your next river. And don't forget, Cyrus did not march to Babylon on his own. He marched with his army. You too have an army. Look around this room at the legions of support you have, your family and your friends. And know that even though you are leaving our halls, the NPX faculty remains steadfastly committed to your success. Each year, I field phone calls and emails from former students seeking advice and support. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know that most, if not all of us, remain in some contact with our former students. Reach out to us. We remain dedicated to you, and our doors are always open. Furthermore, you should never stop building your army. Make a conscious effort to make new friends and build new relationships, both personal and professional. In fact, I challenge each of you in the coming months to join a new club or organization and begin to get involved. Maybe it is your school's newspaper, an athletic program, a faith-based organization, or some other association. Don't just sit idle and wait for acquaintances to come to you. You know how to use your voices, how to speak up in group settings, how to engage with people. Use these acquired skills and grow your army. I wish I could tell you that life gets easier, but the truth is it's only going to become increasingly more complicated. However, each of you are smarter than you know, you are stronger than you know, and you have more support than you can imagine. What lies ahead may not be clear, but you are well prepared. As obstacles come before you, divide them into manageable channels and keep your eye on your larger goal. And so, graduates, I bid you, strike out with confidence and begin your personal and unique march towards your dreams, your Babylon. And finally, I will close this speech as I close so many of my classes. To the class of 2021, say it with me, be good people, do good things.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Members of the class of 2021, I now invite Miss Allison Stone, our assistant headmaster, to call the roll of graduates. Miss Martin, our college counselor, Miss Jensen, our academic dean, and Miss Scripsima, our dean of students, will hand you your diplomas.
Benjamin Labowitz Abrams. Lexis Lynn Alessi, in absentia. David Lewis Anderson. David John Adashero. Cameron Lupe May Baca. Liam John Black. Alina Jean Borse. Sophia Madison Bernovich. Maverick Allen Courtney. Aiden Timothy Davis. Rebecca Cherith Forbes. Tyler Frazier. Fiona Morgaine Fulton. Spencer Bradley Hahn. Maya Catherine Hartman. Rebecca Renee Teresa Havertine. Judah Benjamin Hegenbarth. Andrea Yaraldi Hernandez. Gabriela Maria Herrera. Isabel Dahlia Herrera. Nan Josie Nguyen. Rainer Dave Montenegro Egos. Charlotte Paige Gerald. Grace Claire Jensen. Richard Paul Ignatius Johnston. Sarah Michelle Kimball. Maximus Garner Kinney. Thank you. Benjamin Julian Krish. Naveen Raghav Kumar. Abigail Lauren Loss. Raymond George LeBeau. Ja Rong Lee. Emily Ann Lister. Cora Ann Moore. Bianca Carlotta Rodriguez. Deity Jimena Rodriguez Duenas. Thomas Andrew Rochford. Sierra Lynn Schwani. Kai Robert Seder. Archie Singh. Maya Teixeira. We, the assembled faculty of the Academy, are here to recommend these young men and women to the governing board. We attest to their completion of the prescribed course of study, and we ask that the board confirm this and confer a diploma upon each member of this class. Graduates, you may now move your tassel from the right to the left. Please be seated. And please welcome Ms. Jacobson to the podium.
You guys got me going with all those hugs. My mom heart is like fluttering. Whew. For the record, only Ray asked if he could give me a hug. That was a lot of emotion for all of us up here. And I've been to a lot of graduations, and I think that's the most hugs I've ever received. And it's extra emotional because I think that's the first time we've been able to hug. So that was really special. As we conclude this ceremony, I want you to remember all that you have accomplished and celebrate that in your heart. And now that you have moved your tassel to signal to the world that you are a high school graduate and you are here to embrace all that life has to offer, you are ready for all that you will encounter. The world is not easy, and you will face challenges, disagreements, struggles, but you have faced that here, and you have learned how to discuss conflict and how to overcome obstacles. The world outside these walls is also joyful, and you will experience beauty and love more because of what you are equipped with as Great Hearts graduates. You will take courage, humility, temperance, and a rare work ethic into the world. You will make the world a more just, humane, and philosophical place when you seek truth, relish in beauty, and strive for goodness. These are not words, these are actions, and you are ready to live them. I will remember you all as my first graduating class as headmaster of this school. I will remember you for your grit and unwavering passion for school pride and for the ways in which you have left your mark on North Phoenix Prep forever. Once a gladiator, always a gladiator. I present to you the graduates of 2021. We began this ceremony with faculty and students filing in separately. We conclude with the tradition of graduates and faculty filing out together, each lighting their own candle from a shared one, signifying that we are now colleagues in the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. As Plutarch states, the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. I speak for the entire faculty and staff when I say it has been an honor to watch your fire grow. As you exit the auditorium, please be mindful of social distancing and please leave the sanctuary one row at a time, beginning with the rows in the back.